Hi, I'm Nancy White. Speech 1311. Here is my outline, and there is my verbal citation. And here is my volunteer audience. So, what do you think the connection is between the first shot dissipating football helmet and something when first tried in the 1960s would later become very prominent in sports, in the medical field, and found in stores and vending machines all over the place? The connection is found in the subject that we have for today, Dr. James Robert Cade. The three main points I will share with you today about Dr. Cade are: first, we're going to begin with his background, then discuss his most famous invention, and finally, we're going to discuss the lasting impact. So, we're going to begin with Dr. Cade's background. According to Gale Biography Online Collection, he was born James Robert Cade on September 26, 1927, right here in San Antonio, Texas. Dr. Cade died in Gainesville, Florida on November 27, 2007, at the age of 80 from kidney failure. So part of his background, besides his birth, was, that's not the one I wanted. That's not the one I wanted. Well, that he attended Breckenridge High School, and that's where he graduated from. After he attended Highland Park Elementary and Breckenridge High School, he began to serve in the Navy. After he left the Navy, he became an associate professor and nephrologist at the University of Florida in 1961. Do it like this, because it's not going to cooperate. Okay, so now we're going to learn more about what led up to his invention of Gatorade. So there, according to Arthur Ben Montgomery in the article in Taste of Success in This Legend, it was in 1965 when Cade and some other scientists at the University of Florida were approached by an assistant football coach. The coach wondered why players were not urinating after practices in the Florida heat, which I found very interesting too. One of the things that they did was, to figure out why, is they took these plastic gloves and attached it to the football player's body to collect the sweat off of their body. And from that, they were able to discern the electrolytes and the salts and sugars that were missing from the players' bodies. And so they came up with the theory that not only would they lose 9 pounds of water weight, but they lost all these other electrolyte mechanisms. So these needed to be replaced in order to keep them from stroking out, and some of them from passing out and dying. So the very first thing that he tried, his first batch, did not taste very well. As a matter of fact, some of the players stated that it tasted like pee. So his wife said, put some lemon in it. And that's where our lemon lime Gatorade came from. It was from his wife's advice. So now Dr. Cade moved that from the football field after trying it into the shelves. So finally, his impact of Dr. Cade's invention. So as we know today that many sports teams, they have Gatorade on the sidelines and they use it to keep their players hydrated. But not only does Gatorade help the football players or other sports players, but it also has an impact on the medical field. When children get dehydrated, or even us as adults get dehydrated, we're often encouraged to drink Gatorade for the electrolyte. According to Raise a Glass to the Father of Energy Drinks, his legacy will endure beyond the $150 million that the University of Florida has reaped from Gatorade royalties. Oh, I didn't. We just had some technical difficulties. So basically, it continued to say that the 7 billion bottles of Gatorade Americans consume every year is an 80% of the share of the United States sports drink market. But his daughter, the second of his 6 children, said, "To us, he was just our father." So today we discussed Dr. James Robert Cade's life and the impact he left. First, we discussed his background. Then we discussed the invention that impacts us today. And lastly, we discussed the different foundations he set up in his name, which I had forgotten to mention. And some of them were in the museum that they have in Florida set up in his name. They have a scholarship for people who are wanting to pursue inventions, same as he did. So in a lot of the information that I had read, it mentioned how modest Dr. Cade was. Several of his inventions have been groundbreaking. The one of them mentioned at the very beginning was the shock dissipating football helmet, was the beginning of what we know today as of helping players to avoid having concussions. So we see how Dr. Cade's invention of Gatorade has left a lasting impact on the world. So now we know who Dr. James Robert Cade is and how he has helped millions of people. Please tell me that was not long.